Well, hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are having a super duper fantastic day out there today. Y'all know what time it is. It is 5 o'clock, and you know what happens at 5 o'clock, right? I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live at 5. Come on inside of the room. The conversation today is stop texting me. Like, for real, cut it out. Stop it. I mean it. Like, you really got to stop texting me. So, look. I want to have this conversation. I had mentioned it a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about communication and connection and how text messages is not real communication, y'all. So stop it, right? You really need the ring-a-ling, the ding dong, a telephone, because these text messages and these emails get misconstrued, miscommunicated all the times, hurt feelings, misunderstanding. Just stop and call. But look. My name is Denise Merriweather. I am the CEO and founder of Queenpreneurs Jumpstart Program. It's the #1 training environment for women in the world looking to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. Look, if you are inside of the chat, definitely drop your name. Let me know where you're from. Look, put in the chat right now. Stop texting me. Stop texting me. Put it in the chat. I want to see it. Stop texting me. And I'm telling you why. Like recently inside of the Southside Everywhere community, I had a conversation about real connection. And this text messaging and these emails and all these other things on social media, y'all think this is real connection? Do you really think you know? Do you really know me? And my actual measuring stick and criteria for knowing me is if you don't know my mama name and my daddy name and my sister name, you probably don't know me. Hey, Carla, thank you for being up in here. Hey, sissy, how you doing? Give me my red dress. So look, put in the chat, stop texting me. Tiffany, tell them again, stop texting me. Stop. It is not real communication. And here's how I know it. I know that text messaging is not communication because there's 3 things that's missing, and I'm going to drop them for you, and I need you to wrap your loving arms around what I'm saying. I want you to stop texting me, stop texting other people. If you think text messaging is real communication, I am here to tell you text messages is not real communication. Emails, if you think emails is real communication, I want you to get emails are not real communication. You know what text messages and emails are good for? It's like recapping a conversation that you had with someone. It's not really something that you can take to the bank or that you want to be telling people that you're doing it. Okay, LaShawn, I see you up in here. Right. And then a Facebook user, to be honest, text is the only way to get my attention right now. I get it. But let me tell you, whoever that is inside the chat, it may get your attention, but it's not real communication. And let me tell you why, because it's a lot of stuff missing. And it's great that that may be the only way to catch you. And I get text messages is easy. It's an easy way to contact me. But you know, I can ignore text messages. Do you know I can actually block you? And I'm telling you now, whoever that is, don't text me and think it's real communication. Because the only thing that you probably are doing is asking to see when you can have a communication with me, a real one, like a phone conversation. But if you think text messaging is real communication, let me tell you, it is not. And let me tell you the first thing that's missing in text messages and emails is the tone. Put it inside the chat. The tone is missing. And let me tell you how important that is. Like if you listen to me right now, you can feel the hype, you can feel the energy, you can see I'm passionate about what it is that I'm talking about. But if I send like that in a text message, if I said, stop texting me, some people would be offended by that. Some people wouldn't even know how to take it. They may even be like, what are you talking about? Because it's just so many things that's missing when you're communicating with people with emails and text messages. And 9 times out of 10, if you have ruffled a feather, if you have put them in upset or breakdown, they are so not going to receive this however you're feeling. So the tone is missing. And you can normally tell by someone's voice, like where they are, how they're feeling, like all the things. So the tone of the person, their voice is missing. And that's very, very important because a lot of things you can hear, especially if you're a coach. Coaches out there, tell the people. It's important to be in conversation with people because if you are not able to hear the tone of their voice, you can totally miss where they are, right? Some people just need to be heard. Like, you know, when your friends are talking to you and you hear them and you're like, hello, like even a couple of seconds ago, my husband was walking upstairs and his tone of his voice, I could tell like yo, what's up? And he was just like, I'm tired and I'm frustrated. But if I was able to hear his voice, like his response to me, because I had asked him a question, I was like, yo, did I leave the tack in the wall or do I have it or whatever? And the way that he responded, I could hear that everything was not okay. Put it in the chat. Sometimes everything is not okay. And if you are doing text messages and email, you won't be able to sense that because you don't hear the voice. You don't hear the tone. You don't hear where it's coming from. Okay. The second thing would be the context. Put it in the chat. The context is missing because a lot of times when you're just reading word, and let me see what it said. Fair, totally fair, super helpful way to recap. Yeah. Okay. So I can receive that. So I'm glad that you're at least open, whoever that is in the Facebook world. Maybe it's Carla, but look, you got to get that when you don't have the proper context behind someone's conversation. That's number two, the context, right? It's like the world they're living in, the paradigm that's out there. You say, what is missing with emails and texting? Yeah, this is what's missing. I'm in it right now, LaShawn. I'm in it. I'm giving it to you. So sometimes everything is not okay. Absolutely. Sometimes everything is not okay. But when you can't hear that voice, if you can't hear that tone, you won't know. Now, the context is actually the paradigm, the world that you're living in, the thing that you're speaking from, right? It could be excitement. It could be breakdown. It could be upset. It could be wherever. But if you're not able to ask the questions like, hey, so tell me how you feel about that, or tell me what you think about that, or tell me what this is all about, right? When you are missing that context, you could be talking about one thing and they could be talking about something else. That's why text messages and email is not the best place to be having no conversation. You can recap something in the email or the text message, or you can try to set up a conversation through an email and a text message, but it's not real communication. Put it in the chat. It's not real communication. And I'm telling y'all, stop texting me. Put it in the chat. Stop texting me. Stop texting me. Because if you're not trying to set up conversation and then giving people a whole bunch of instructions through Messenger and just stop. I don't want that type of communication. In a minute, I'm just going to stop accepting all of it because it's not real communication. 9 times out of 10, if I'm looking at my social media device and I have my page pulled up and I'm looking at Messenger, I'm not in a place where I can add anything on my calendar, where I can write down notes or do anything that will help me put whatever it is you're asking me into existence. So stop it. Stop. As a matter of fact, I might even cut off Messenger. Stop texting me, stop sending me Messenger stuff with a whole bunch of litany of things that you want me to do. If you really want me to be a part of whatever, you want me to speak on something, you got questions, I need you to hit this phone up and set up a call, a conversation, consultation, discovery, something. But the text messages and the Messenger and the emails with a whole bunch of things that you're trying to ask me to do is not. Stop. If you're doing that to me, you sending me a whole bunch of text messages, I'm telling you now, stop. Stop with the text messages. Stop with the inbox. Set up a conversation with me because you're not going to be able to hear my tone and you're not going to be able to get the context. Okay. The last thing is the intent. The intent of whatever the request is or whatever it is that you're trying to say. That's number 3. And you cannot get the intent of the person when they are sending you text message and email because, again, there's so much emotional things behind it, the tone, the facial expressions, where they're taking the breath, the what is it called when you are talking, and the fluctuation of the voice. Like I can't think of it right now, but you get what I'm saying. It's a lot of missing pieces when you're not in conversation with people and you're trying to communicate something that may be important to you or may even be important to them, but they won't know because they can't understand your intent. And who's going to really type out, hey, the reason why I'm calling is this, that, and the third. I really want to da. That's a whole lot to be texting, putting in Messenger or an email. When you can easily say this with a conversation, put it in the chat, call me. Just put it in the chat, call me. Put it in the chat, call me. Put it in the chat, call me. Because you continuing to communicate with people through Messenger and these text messages and these emails is probably the reason why you're not getting the results that you want. I'm telling you, really. The reason why you can't get people to say yes to the things you want them to say yes to, you can't get them to pay attention to the things you want them to pay attention to, is because you think that text messages and email is real communication. And I'm telling you, stop texting me. The only thing that you need to text me for is figuring out when you could get on my calendar or recapping something that we already discussed. Confirming that, hey, just checking in to make sure we still meeting today at 5:00. Like that kind of stuff. If you ain't doing that, stop texting me. Do you understand? Okay, how y'all feeling about this? Are y'all with me? Do y'all get? She said the inflection of the voice. Thank you, LaShawn. Exactly. The inflection of the voice speaks loudly. Like you can be able to read things that people are not telling you, especially if you could coach. You can hear what they're saying behind what they're saying. But if they in a text message, in an email, you ain't gonna be able to pick, or messenger, you ain't gonna be able to pick up on none of that stuff. And what you're gonna wind up doing is tripping over your own teeth in your mouth and your tongue. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you don't want to do that because you don't want to misread people. So make sure you are clear on what the intent is, what the context of the conversation is, and the tone of their voice. It's so important. Talk to people, y'all. This fake communication that y'all doing, acting like y'all have relationships when you really don't. If you don't know my mama name, you don't know my daddy name, and you don't know my sister name, we probably ain't got no real connection. We ain't got no real relationship. So don't go telling people that you know me and that you be talking to me and they be like, oh, so when the last time you talked to me? Oh, I talk to her every day at Live at 5. Okay, that's great. And I'm glad that you are here. But do understand that we don't have real connection until we on this phone and we having conversation, either face-to-face on the Zoom or StreamYard or wherever, or on a phone. That's real communication. We could build relationships that way, but text messages, emails, and messenger can't be done. All right, always looking forward to serving you. Look, you guys, Becoming the Change round 2 is coming in January. I'm going to drop the link by the end of this week. There's only 15 seats available. 15 may be too many. I'm loving the size of the class that I have right now. It's like 8 people, and I can actually kind of talk to all of them, but it's still kind of tight because we doing real work. It's real coaching happening. So look, when I drop the link, don't be taking all day to get in. It's going to start on January the 7th. And if you believe that you need to become the change and you really want to make changes in your life and you're tired of talking about stuff that you're going to do and you've been talking about it for the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 years and you still ain't shot the gun or got up on it or did the things, then I want you to consider that becoming the change is where you need to be because you need to jump. You need to get out there. Okay, let me see right here. Yes, perfect. You know how I feel about this topic. Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. It's whack when you think you talking to me. Guess I got to get on the line with you, Denise. Yeah. If you texting me and you trying to have real conversation, real relationship, yeah, I don't feel the same way about it. So yeah, if you're trying to be connected to me for real, you might. And I'm sure, and I done gave the number, so it ain't because I ain't shared my number. So yeah, if you want to be in real connection, we need to be in conversation, right? It's one thing to have quick questions and stuff. I get that. That's email, that's text messages. But if you're trying to build relationships, and that's with anybody, Tiffany, that's with anybody, LaShawn, that's with anybody, Carol, that's with anybody else that's on here that's popping in and off. If you want real relationships, get on the phone and have real conversation. Don't be afraid. Don't be worried about the reaction. Definitely be honest because people are making big asks also through like text messages and emails, and that be upsetting me too. And I'm like, yo, do you really know me like that to be asking this kind of question? But I'm just saying, look, do what serves you. I know there's some people out there that think text messages is the way to go, but I tell you, it's super unprofessional for me. I don't jive with it. It's almost a turn off. And I'm probably not going to respond the way you want me to respond. Now, it's one thing if we already have the relationship. So let me say that. If we already have a real relationship, then that will work from time to time. But if you're trying to build relationship with me, you're trying to ask for favors and money and all these things. Nope, don't play yourself because that's what you'll be doing if you're texting. So stop texting me. Put it in the chat. Stop texting me. I agree with you. Real connection and real communication is on the phone, Zoom, or in person. Absolutely agree. Yes. Because the rest of this stuff is not real. This is, coming out here, doing these lives, being in conversation. It's a form of promotion. It's a form of being out front so people can see you, maybe get a taste of who you are. But people ain't really investing and swiping no card until they get into a closed space with you. So if you have not created, if you're a business owner and you have not created any space for people to be in a closed room with you before you ask them to swipe a card, you might want to consider that. You might want to consider some type of discovery call, some type of free session where people can ask you questions and get all in your business. An opportunity for you to lay some things flat, right? For you to be vulnerable, for you to show yourself and share yourself so people can really get what you're about. And if you're really for the people or you for yourself, because that thing to the transactional relationships, I don't vibe with that either. Because once I find out you're transactional and the only thing you care about is making money, that relationship with me not going to last long either. So I'm telling you, I'm really about helping the people. I'm really about real relationships. I'm really about authenticity. I do want to generate funds using my gifts. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying giving yourself away for free, but you really need to be about helping the people. And when you're really clear that people need what it is that you have, you're not afraid to tell them how much the investment is, and you're not afraid to guarantee whatever results that you're giving. Do you understand? But if you ain't clear with none of that, you probably don't even need to be asking nobody to be invested in anything. But that's just me. I'm just saying, real relationships, if you want to talk, set up a call. But stop texting me and stop inboxing me, asking me these questions that y'all know y'all shouldn't be asking me unless we had a relationship. All right. I love you guys. Connect with me Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, right here, live at 5 here on this channel. I have an amazing interview coming up on Friday. Hopefully you guys can join me. I posted it earlier. It's at 7 o'clock. I want to say the address is Power Fridays Live, Fridays with an S, live.com. Make sure you're there at 7 o'clock. I would love to have you in the room, supporting, hashtagging, doing all the things, because the conversation is going to be delicious. And I don't want you to miss it. And I'll remind you again on Friday, but go ahead, spread the word. Share this video. Stop texting me, because text messages, messenger, email is not real communication. Those are some good things for some recapping, okay? Love you. Always looking forward to serving you. I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live